I think you'd probably agree with me. We've all become so utterly dependent that that any discussion of, hey, listen, we've gotten in over our heads. We got to take a serious look at how we've designed how people live in terms of income redistribution, entitlements, et cetera. Got to take a serious look at that. That's called the third rail of politics. You touch it, you're dead. And that is incredibly unhealthy and delusional. As a people, we've got to talk about it. That's most of the budget. Now seems like an appropriate time to mention this from the LA Times. They have a compilation of the best and worst quotes of the Republican National Convention. And I really like this one from Mike Huckabee. Noted YouTube figure Mike Huckabee.
Let me make something clear tonight. I'm not a Republican because I grew up rich. I'm a Republican because I didn't want to spend the rest of my life poor, waiting for the government to rescue me.
That sums it up pretty nicely. I think y'all know I have a serious level of concern about how dependent we're becoming as a people. And once you are dependent on someone, you march to their orders. You have to. And that's oppression. And I don't know about you, I'm kind of anti-oppression. Barack Obama, this troubled me a great deal. And I understand it's a stump speech, and he's trying to get the folks fired up so they go out and get signatures and contributions and drive their friends to the polls and stuff like that. I get it. It's okay. Both sides do it. It doesn't make you a bad person. But what he said about George Bush wanting to gamble with your Social Security. The current system, my friends, is this. You pay your Social Security, Congress spends it on whatever they want. And then the tab comes for whichever oldsters need Social Security money each month, and they pay for it really out of the general fund. The money that's been put aside, the little money that has been, and it's not quite as simple as I just put it, but it's close. The money they think that's been put aside for Social Security through the years has gotten about 1% return. Savings accounts during a Great Depression get more than that. So the idea of you being allowed to choose your investments, and maybe, and this is a middle ground. I think this is still way too much government control in our lives, but just for instance, as a middle ground, you are given the option of, 5 different conservative mutual funds that, barring a Martian invasion, will yield you 4, 5, 6, maybe it's bond funds, even more conservative, 4, 5, 6% for the rest of your life on average. Not just given to the government where they hold on to it and spend it, and then if you lick their boot heels, they'll give you your money back. Well, a small part of it for a lot of us. That any system other than that is, quote, gambling with your money. If the difference is gambling with my money or just giving away, never seeing it again, my God, I'll gamble. I'll go to the damn racetrack. Never mind a rock-solid bond fund that'll give me at least 3, 4% over the course of my life. The idea that the obvious, necessary, inalienable situation is that the government is in charge of my retirement money and that I can't even conceivably opt out, that would be somehow un-American for me to look after myself and my family. I mean, that's just a horrifying perversion of what this country is about. And at the point where horrifying perversions become the accepted, the inevitable, sweet mother of George Washington, we're in a hurt here. We're in a world of hurt. Oh, FDR, what have you done to us? What have you done? This is the Armstrong and Getty Show. Jack's getting ready for his wedding tonight. It's 8:37. I knew I was leaving something out. I need two brains, one to communicate with the main one. When we were talking about Social Security and dependence and, what we were talking about last segment. And the other thing that really, really bothered me about Barack Obama's speech, and again, he's just trying to fire up his folks, and that's fine, is he said, in John McCain's America, you're on your own. As opposed to his preferred policies. Right. My answer to that is, and this is the fundamental description of why I am a conservative and why I can't stand that thinking, and I think it's going to ruin the country. Barack, in terms of the federal government, I would much prefer to be on my own. And here's what I mean. I'm not on my own. I have my family. I have my friends. I have my neighbors. I have my church, mosque, or synagogue. I have local charities. I have my city government. I have my county government. I have my state government. And only then, only after all of those possibilities are either exhausted, ineffective, or inappropriate, only then do I look to Washington, D.C. I don't look to bureaucrats thousands of miles away in the swamp of greed and corruption that is Washington, D.C. first. I don't look to those people first to solve my problems. In fact, I look at that as a nightmare scenario. Yes. Where if I have a local problem, or my arm hurts, or my kid is hungry, or my kid's teacher sucks, the idea of looking at those people first, those bureaucrats in that gigantic morass first to solve my sore elbow, literally, that is the nightmare scenario if that is my first option. That is what conservatism is. It's not the idea that, screw you, poor people, I hope you starve. It's the question of where we look for help. And do we look primarily to the federal government? The answer to me is not just no, it's hell no. It's bleeping hell no. It's bleeping, bleeping, bleep no. It's bleeping, you sons of bleeping bleepers, bleeping no. And I think that summarizes it pretty well.